Oh, cool.
What?
Uh-oh, how do I get out of here?
I don't know what you're looking at.
I found it. Mhm.
Now close your,
I had to close everything on her.
you see, nice and clear.
See.
You're not grainy.
I don't think so.
All right, you got what you need?
I do.
I'm gonna shut this down.
Okay.
Walk in already.
Haha, olá, João. Como estás?
Olá, Molly.
Olá, João.
Eu estou bem. E tu?
Oh, sim. Tudo bem?
Tudo ótimo. Temos 3 minutos.
Sim.
3 minutes. And then we'll start, okay?
Muito bem. You'll start us off, sim?
Yes, I'll start.
Olá, meus amigos. Olá, meus amigos. Meus amigos, sim?
Meus amigos.
Meus amigos. Meus amigos. Meus amigos. I just practiced this for so long with Claudia. Meus amigos. I forget so quickly. You like my shirt?
I love it. Do you love my shirt?
I love it. Okay. Meus amigos.
Opa.
Então,
Estás a dizer, João?
tens que sair daqui agora, desaparecer.
Olá.
António. That was my son.
Ah,
All right, almost there. 1 minute to go. Just
rapaz.
almost. Ok. Parece que já estamos ao vivo. Looks like we are live. Molly,
Alright.
how are you?
Olá, meus amigos. Olá,
Hey,
Portugal.
espetáculo. Olá, pessoal que está a assistir a esta call. Olá, pessoal que vai assistir a esta call mais tarde. Molly, muito
sim.
obrigado. Thank you for being here with us, to support us all the way. We are so thankful. We love you. We have a really, really big love and care for you, okay?
I love you all too. That's why I'm here. I'm so happy to help, and it's great to almost see all of your faces.
Almost, exactly. All right. So this is what we are going to do in this call. We're going to have a conversation, the two of us, and this conversation is going to be about what are you doing in your business, not as a bold coach, as as a business owner and as a team member with your team, because most of our audience are agents, and you know, things are changing, shifting, you know, 180 degrees all around us very fast, and we need to adapt, we need to be flexible, we need to be sharp and smart. So the intention is to learn a little bit from you, what you are doing in what regards your team, your database, your buyers, your sellers, the deals that you have ongoing. I mean, walk us through how are things right now in the United States and in your Asheville market, and then we'll go from there. Okay.
Sure. So I'll give you just a kind of an overview of what's going on. Oh, good. Hold on. First, yes.
Cheers.
An overview of things that are happening here in the United States. Every area is very different. Portugal is the size of one of our states, one of the small ones. So it's very similar to what's happening in Portugal, except times 1,000 on the land size. So we are seeing variation of variety of responses. There are some places that are on total lockdown. As I understand, you all are meant to stay in your homes,
Yeah.
right? For us in Carolina do Norte, not yet. Although we think it's coming, they've closed all restaurants, all bars, all cafes, all gyms, hotels, pretty much nobody's going out because there's not much to do. So we're in a similar situation. Most everywhere in the States, regardless of the rules, people are scared. So they're staying inside, and the fear is obviously coming into our businesses. So it's interesting though, buyers still want to buy, right? And
Okay.
sellers still want to sell. So I had a closing yesterday. I had a closing today. Our government has been very good about keeping things moving and being creative. We're doing mail away closings, all the documents done via mail and electronically. So that's very good. It's different though. So what I'm talking about is my main focus is what can I control and what can I not control? What can I
Right.
control and what can I not control? And that's my mantra every single day. What can I control? What can I not control?
All right. So what are the things you cannot control?
Most things. I can't control the rules. I can't control other people. I can't control the interest rates. I can't control the panic. I can't control the weather. I can't control access. I can't control the sellers and buyers. Here's the good news though, João, and all of Portugal, all my friends. The good news is we've never been able to control these things.
Yeah, exactly.
So in a lot of ways, I mean, it's very, very unusual. Obviously, I'm not minimizing how the impact of this, yet in many ways, this is the same. And one really important thing is that for many of us, we've been doing this now a year, 5 years, 10 years, who knows what. The thing is that all of your experience up to this point, that was all just boot camp. This was all practice, right? Now you've been practicing all this time. Now it's game on. This is when all of your practice, all of your skills, instead of going opposite and saying, oh my gosh, I have no one to call. I have nothing to do. Nothing's going on. Heck no. You've been practicing for this moment. This is exactly what you were born for.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a quick share on that thought. So what I'm watching in our country and in our organization is that the 4 years of investment in terms of training, the 6 personal perspectives, the one thing, bold, everything that we've been doing on helping people to think the way they should think in order to do the things they need to do in order to achieve what they want, that sometimes it's underestimated on a daily basis. You just, okay, now it's a time when we see the difference between people that have been training on that and not. So I'm really thankful and happy to see that our Portuguese friends are all coming into the positive, looking at the things we control. So that we are on the right track, and I'm happy for that.
I agree 100% because that is so important. And I really want you to talk about, we're going to talk a lot about gratitude. How grateful that we work for a company that has been preparing us for this. The reason we'll all be okay is because we know what to do.
Yeah.
Can you
absolutely.
imagine? I feel so badly for my friends who are part of other companies or industries. They don't know what to do, not just with activity to keep business going as much as possible. They don't know how to care for other people. They don't know how to care for themselves. I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
This has brought out a lot of gratitude.
Yeah. Awesome. Things that you control. So the things you don't control, we don't focus on them. We just let them go. Make you control. You put all your energy into it, right? So
That's right.
what are those things that you absolutely control, and where have you been focusing on?
So I want to break this down to a few things because, of course, you all want to know about business, which is important. Yet, as a bold coach, and as many of your bold attendees and graduates are on the call, it's got to start first with us. So I want to make sure everybody on the call first hears that all of the good things you do are going to come from all of the good things that you are. right?
All right,
So,
just a moment.
Mhm.
Write this down. Write this down. All the things that you do come from all the things that you are. Is that what you said? Did I say it
sim,
right?
sim.
Awesome. Take a note of that. That's really valuable.
Em
Thank you.
português?
Tudo aquilo que tu fizeres vem de quem tu és.
Importante.
Okay, go on.
So the most important thing now, because everything is changing, even your environment's changing, your schedule's changing. So most important thing is to start with a framework, build a structure to your mindset. If your normal mindset was, I've got my routine, I wake up, I have my coffee, I take a shower, I go do the things, whatever. Now it's no different, except you're creating it as you exist in this environment. So thinking about the first thing when you wake up, are you thinking of gratitude? Are you writing an affirmation? Are you, whatever it is that you're doing, it's up to you. 100% up to you. Just make it your very first thing, a routine. Every single morning, get into the same routine. My advice as a coach would be to make certain that that routine is based on positivity, on who you choose to be at the end of the day. If you could plan out how you act and your attitude for the day, how would you design it in the morning? That gives you framework for your day. You will then live into that thought process. Then go have your coffee, go for a walk, even if you're just walking around your apartment in circles or doing some calisthenics, whatever it is, routine, do it every day. Read a book. Look at this stack. João, I'm going to show you got my books. I'm all set. I've got them all time blocked out. One of the most exciting things is I'm going to get to read all of those books, right? So give yourself some reading time, meditation. Again, what you do within the framework is up to you, as long as it's structured the same every day. Because in chaos, we must find what we can control.
Right. Absolutely. In chaos, we must find what we control. Write that down as well.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Right. So that's a very important message. Like it all starts with you, right? With the way you think and how you are as a person and what you are being, and then everything else falls into that place. So moving the conversation into the what things, what are the things that you have been doing to adapt, adjust, and adopt in these new circumstances inside your business. So help us out with practical things that our agents can absolutely, pick up this script, this idea, and go do it because it's valuable.
You got it. So first and foremost, before I go into any of the specifics,
right.
Now more than ever, I was talking about structuring your mindset.
Right.
Structure your schedule as well, because without office hours,
right.
If we do not have office hours, then we don't necessarily feel like we can have off office hours. We don't feel like we're on or off. I want you to create a time blocked schedule. And so you know when you're doing, I'm going to go through all of the things you can do and say, make sure you're structuring that each day as well. It doesn't have to be 10 hours or 5 hours, or again, just like in the morning, it's up to you. You've got to create structure with it.
Right, because the consequence of that working from home especially is that you work more hours because you're all the time connected, right? So
you lose your boundaries, and you lose, many of us have been conditioning these boundaries for a long time in our business.
Right.
And you might lose that conditioning, because remember, whether you're conditioning or you think you're not conditioning, you're conditioning. You're either conditioning yourself for good habits that will serve your goals, or conditioning yourself for habits that won't serve you long term.
Absolutely.
So I wrote this down. This isn't the time to excuse poor behaviors. It's the time to step into good ones.
Right.
This is not the time to excuse poor behavior. It's easy to say, oh, this, oh, that. This is exactly the time to do the opposite.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I know many of you were on Gary Keller's call. So I'm going to reiterate his plan. The first and most important thing that we've all got to make sure that we're doing is we've got to lead generate.
Right.
And we've got to pivot our lead generation. So if you were lead generating 1 hour before, now it's 2 hours. If it's 2 hours before, 3 hours now. He's recommending 4 hours. And let me talk to you a little bit about why.
Mhm.
4 hours.
Mhm.
Because in the past, it's easy. I pick up the phone, I say, João, my friend, how are you? Everything's good, everything's great, family's good, home is great. Cool. I'm having a competition. Who do you know who wants to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate? Great, right? Easy conversation. You know somebody, you don't know somebody. We're off the phone in 4 minutes, right?
Right.
Now we have to be caring. Oh, not that we weren't caring before, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, though, the calls must be focused on the relationship. So I'm not calling you for business. I'm calling you for the relationship. Because for those of us who are in this, and Gary Keller said, we've got to survive before we can thrive.
Right.
To survive this, we've got to cultivate the relationships, and we have to show people that we care about them, so that 6 months from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, people will be buying homes and selling homes, and they'll never ever forget how you helped them, how you treated them, how you listened to them. So 4 hours is because these are longer conversations, João.
Right.
We've been tracking the numbers this week, and the agents on my team, I've got 9 agents, and they're averaging about 4 or 5 conversations an hour.
4
So,
conversations an hour. Right. Okay.
and we
So-
understand this will change. However, as we work through the database, we probably have about a month where that's going to be the case. And we were
Right.
going to talk about 25 to 30 people per day is the goal. So
Right.
my agents they're talking on the phone 6 hours a day right now.
Right. Absolutely. So
And that's a lot.
yeah. So building relationships and having you know, it's kind of like I want to care. I want to show care. So I ask questions to know how people are, and that means that the conversation will flow in a different way.
Exactly.
So do you actually ask for business in this period, or you don't ask for business in these conversations?
It depends. So if I'm talking to you, João, and we're having a great conversation, and you say, well, you know, everything's okay, we're safe, we're healthy, we're happy, we're grateful. You know, if we're having a good conversation and you're
Right.
feeling okay, you're not anxious, that's when I might say, João, I'm going to ask you a favor because you are one of my closest friends, and I'm going to be looking out for you. So I'm wondering if you can look out for me. Over the next 6 months, I'm anticipating seeing a fairly big difference in my business. So I'm calling on all of my best friends, my favorite people to help me through this. If you do hear of someone who, despite what's going on, wants to sell their home or buy their home, will you please let me know? Because I am still here to help people get their goals
Right.
of real estate met.
Right.
So is it okay if I
Yeah.
call on you every once in a while as my friend to see how I can help your business and maybe how you can also help mine?
Right. That means that you got to be sensible on the conversation and only go there if in the conversation.
You got it. In fact, on the top of your computers, maybe put a sign that says, should I go there?
Right. Exactly.
And then feel out the conversation. If someone's anxious or they're nervous or they've lost their job, just listen, offer help. Could I send you something? In fact, don't even ask. I don't know in Portugal if you are allowed to go to the store. Can you go to the store?
Some are closing. We have some restrictions in terms of
But don't offer something obviously that you can't do. This morning though, I was on the phone with 2 of my clients I love very much. They're 86 and 88 years old.
Okay.
And I said, you cannot leave your house. And they said, well, we don't have any family here. I said, yes, you do. You have me. And I said, send me your grocery list. I'll go pick it up tomorrow. I'm bringing it to you with mask and gloves and everything. They shouldn't be out. So promise
That's
what
a
you
good
can.
idea.
And then if there's nothing that you can promise or there's nothing you can do, there's always a handwritten note. You can put it in the mail and you can
Right.
just write a note that you're thinking about them, you care about them. This is
Right.
all about the relationship.
Right. So 2 ideas, just so people that are listening take notes on that. So number 1, if you have elderly people which are on the risk group of you know, of this virus thing, you can advise them not to leave the house, and you can say, I can help you. I can give me your grocery lists, and I'll shop for you, and I'll deliver it at home so that you are safe and you are fine. If you do something like that for somebody, I mean, is that a good idea to build a relationship? Oh man, yes, it is.
It's powerful and it's the right thing.
And is the right thing. That's absolutely. So
Who you are gets magnified in times like these.
right.
Who you
Yes.
truly are gets magnified. So when this is all over, how do you want to look back and say how you showed up?
Right. Absolutely. Okay. And doubling or almost doubling the number of hours of lead generation with a strong focus on building the relationship and asking how people are. It's a go. All right.
Yes.
Cool.
And get ready for fatigue. If you're only used to
Right.
1 hour of lead generation, do 1 hour of lead generation and then go do your sit-ups and then come back, do another hour of lead generation and then go have a drink of wine and eat a sandwich and then come back. Know that when you double your lead generation, if you're home anyway, structure it however you'd like
Right.
and make sure that it's something that's sustainable. So,
Right.
in
Okay.
power. So number 2, we've got to bulletproof the transactions we currently have.
All right.
So those transactions that are currently under contract or are active buyers or are
Right.
active sellers, we've got to be in communication with them and
Right.
help understand, do they have any fears? Do they have any second guessing? Are they thinking maybe not? We need to
Right.
hear those things. It's not about talking them into something else. It's about listening to what
Right.
their concerns are.
Because
Because
they might quit the business because of some fear or something.
correct.
Okay, got it.
So we've got to listen first. If it's something that's just fear, maybe they're afraid of people coming in to see their houses,
Right.
we can help with that. There's solutions there
Right.
and we can help have that conversation. If it's financial, they can't buy anymore because they were a waitress and they lost their job, or
Right.
they can't sell anymore because they would have nowhere to go. Then we understand, we say, of course, everything is going to change. When it does, I'll be here. In the meantime, I'm going to be talking to you. What is our next steps? How can I help?
Right. Absolutely.
Again, always coming from contribution, yet we've got to have, don't just ignore your current buyers, sellers, and under contracts. You've got to be proactive and talk to them if
Right.
you haven't already.
So what did you do specifically with your buyers and sellers that, are on the pipeline of the active sellers, the ones that are potential on the pipeline, and then the buyers? Talk us through with what you actually did with buyers and sellers.
Yep. First thing we did is we called every active seller and we told them, well, we first asked them how they were doing. Of course, always that's the first question. Yeah. How are you doing and how are you feeling? And then on a scale of 1 to 10, how motivated are you to still sell your home?
Right.
If their motivation dropped, we ask, what do you think is the reason for the drop? And again, talk through it. And most of them though said, I still want to sell my house. What can I do?
Right.
So then great. So what we're going to do is, are you comfortable having showings? Here's what we're going to do to make showings more comfortable. We're going to, when someone asks for a showing, we're going to make sure that they know there's going to be hand sanitizer and Clorox wipes at the house.
Right.
That we're going to open all doors and closets so that you don't have to touch anything.
Right.
And if there's any other special requests that come from either the buyer or seller, that everyone is willing to accommodate any special requests.
Right. So
putting a plan into place.
So calling them, number 1. Number 2, reassessing their motivation to sell. Mm-hmm. And if it's lower, and understand why. If it's still the same, understand why, and go from there, and find solutions, possibilities, fine tune the process. So is there anything different from the sanitizing or the health concerns in the checklists that you just mentioned? Is there anything different that the service to the seller will require right now, or that will require that is different from what we were doing before, or that is the only thing that needs to be right now addressed?
Right now, that's pretty much it. We, of course, as business owners, you must be very careful with your expense management, as Gary
Right.
Keller's been talking about. Watch your red light, green light, watch your expenses. So we are no longer promising to send out postcards. We aren't doing
Right.
broker open houses. We're watching our money and we're reinvesting time, because right now we have more time and we're being careful with the money. So anything that we've already promised, we're going through with. However, most people are very understanding and know and prefer to have the time put in. One thing that we have here that I'm not sure you have there, although you could get creative, Portugal. We have a thing called reverse prospecting, where if on the search,
Okay.
it's when the listing agent calls out to the buyer's agents and says, hey, my house at 123 Main Street has Clorox wipes, and we have clean floors, and my sellers are willing to stand on the porch. Bring your buyers. They're ready to sell.
All right. Okay.
So be proactive with each other. You're a community. There's how many of you now?
You just think in a different way, and yeah.
Call each other. Make 1 hour of your calls each day to your colleagues. Tell them about your listings that you have that are still for sale.
Right.
Por que
Awesome.
não?
Yeah. Porque no? Exactly. Why not?
Just
All right.
speak.
So and with the buyers. So that was with the sellers and with the buyers.
Very similar. We're calling each of them, what's your motivation still to buy?
Right.
For the buyers, there tends to be a little more, well, two pieces. The buyers who are already under contract, let's go. They want to go faster, faster, faster. They're
Right.
mostly excited unless they lost their job, like I mentioned before.
Right.
For active buyers, we're finding a little more trepidation. They're nervous because they don't know what's going to happen with the economy. There's a lot of uncertainty. And so we just listen, reaffirm, and understand. However, it's important, and we let them know. As your agent, I want you to know that I support you, João, 100%. Whatever decision you make, it's your decision. Right. As your agent, though, I want to let you know that historically, it's never been a better time to buy as far as the affordability index goes. Interest rates are very low. Right. Property prices have been fine. What you could afford before, if you don't have any job insecurity moving forward, now is going to be the time to buy a home, because when the economy does start coming back, that's when we're going to see the recession and a different kind of shift. We're in a shift right now, right? Right. It's almost like a manual shift. Yeah. When the government starts making changes and we see the impact of inflation and we start seeing foreclosures and things like that coming up, interest rates could go up, who knows how high. That's going to be when things are out of their control. So just like I'm talking with the agents about what's within your control, same conversation with your buyers. Right now, you're in control because you know interest rates are this, you can afford this, and this is where you're happening. So based on that, would you like me to compile a list of homes that are available to see?
Right. I'm curious about this confidence that you have on using this. So it's not really a script, because you have to have information to support what you are saying, right? So out of curiosity, walk us through, what's your process in terms of how do you learn these numbers? Where do you get the information, and how do you systematize using it?
Sure. And that's what we tell folks, is that we obviously don't have a crystal ball. Nobody can see the future. What we do as professionals, though, is we study the trends. Right. I've been doing this now almost 16 years. I've been through one shift before. We study the economy. We study the impact of the economy on real estate. We study inventory. We study pricing, and we study interest rates. Right. Based on everything that we have been studying. That's important. It's not that I just started studying it 5 days ago when everything shut down. Because I've been studying, and we've been studying as an industry, as Keller Williams. And right. We've got this amazing guy named Gary Keller, who's also been studying for even longer, 35 years. Right. Based on what we know, we're watching trends so we can anticipate some of the things that are going to happen, and we can educate you on those things so that you can then make the decision. I can't, of course, make the decision for you. My job is to help educate you and give you the information that I know so you can make that great decision. Yep.
Let me just go a little bit deeper here, because in Portugal, maybe there's some drunk monkey saying to the audience right now, but we don't have the statistics available, or we don't have that information over here. Mm-hmm. So there might be some drunk monkey having this conversation with
no more drunk monkeys. We got to have unicorns now.
Yeah, exactly. So if you are listening in the audience, here's the deal. Just because right now you don't know that information, and you don't know how to use that information, that does not mean that you cannot find information train yourself into a script that you can use with your customers, because knowing the market and knowing the trends, it's absolutely crucial to take the judgment out of the equation, look at the situation as it is, and then educate the client on how the market works, and then help them make educated decisions on what they need to do to take advantage of this market right now. All right.
Bingo.
So if you're thinking that you don't have the information, 2 things you must do. Number one, you got to find the information, because there is information, and you got to educate yourself on how to use that information. We can help you. Call me, call your team leader, call your OP, call KW Portugal. Hey, we can help you. Do not run away from this situation, because that is absolutely critical. Molly, let me bring you back to the conversation. So how important is it for you to know this information when you are in front of a seller or a buyer, especially in this particular time? How important is it?
So important. They are looking to us to advise them. People are scared and they are uncertain. So it's very important that we help them understand there is no crystal ball. That is, we're talking about scripts, and that is an important part of this, is that they know that we reinforce that while there is no crystal ball, I'm here to help bring you information, because with information comes comfort. We all know the bold law, clarity is
Power.
right. And so when we can help people understand things more clearly, then they feel empowered. And that in itself is a sense of caring for our clients and a way of being professional. Gary Keller said on Monday, the best way to predict the future is to go out and create it.
Right. That's beautiful. That's
I
absolutely.
love it. Yeah. And that's what we're doing. So we're future pacing our buyers and sellers to continue to buy and continue to sell, because the truth is, João, no matter what happens, buyers will buy and sellers will sell.
Absolutely.
Forever in the eternity of time, just as it always has been, since there were things for sale and things to buy. We buy them and sell them.
Exactly. Great. Awesome. That's really cool. So, we talked about your current sellers and your current buyers. We talked about your database. Talk us a little bit about your team. How do you handle, and how is your team organized? How are you moving forward? Working from home, different people working from home. How are you structuring that? How are you dealing with that? Talk us through about your team.
First, I want to finish, just in case people didn't hear Gary Keller's thing. So number one, lead generate, double down. Number two, bulletproof your transactions.
Bulletproof the transaction.
Talk to your people. Number three, price reductions.
Price reductions.
Big time. Number four, organize your database. There's never been a better time to call and say, okay, now that I've checked on you and you're fine, João, fantastic. What's your birthday? What's your mailing address? All the things I don't know. Put it in your database, clean it up, make it pretty. Right. And then last one, most important, in my opinion, hopefully you too, training, educate yourself, read,
right.
Learn something every day. Okay, so those are the 5 things. Now we can talk about my team.
Okay, just a second. So price reductions, yes, that's a big impact on what I just said in terms of the knowing the market and the prices going up and down. Price reductions, prices are going down for sure. Right, absolutely.
So, and get people excited about it.
Yeah.
You know, we don't want to chase the ball down the hill, so get in front of it. And then tell people, I'm going to call, Marta and all my friends there. And I'm going to say, hey, there's a house for sale. It's on sale, 20% off.
Exactly.
No, I mean, this isn't the most fun time yet. We have to make the best of what we can.
Absolutely. All right. So moving forward, let's talk about your team, and then we open up for questions from the audience, if you're okay with that. All right, great. So talk us through with what's happening inside your team.
Okay, so the big thing that we've been talking to about our team is that we've got to stick together big time. And whether you're on a team or not, find a team, find a group, because every day we say we punch in and we punch out. We want to make sure that we're supporting each other on the way in. So every single morning we're having rotating script partners. And we're doing different scripts. Scripts are different now. So we're brainstorming for 10 minutes just on the phone or in video, like this is fine too. Just different conversations to have. And most important in script practice, stay positive. Script practice is not for nah, 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 nah. Complaining equals garbage magnet. Why would you want to start your day off in a garbage chute, right?
Stand up and smile while you...
Stand up, smile, and go through your script practice. And then
Yep.
maybe at the end, have a couple of what were your favorite things that happened yesterday, right? And then at 8:45 in the morning, so 8:30, we do the script practice. 8:45, everyone gets on a call like this. You can use Google Hangout. You can use Skype. You can use Zoom. There are so many options. It's important. We're human beings. We crave each other, right?
Right.
So get on, don't worry about what you look like. Look, I'm in my hat and my Portugal t-shirt. It's okay. Look however you want to look and engage with each other. Have conversation. You want to talk about what were your greatest wins?
Right.
Something to celebrate. What are you most looking forward to? And then how will you make that happen today?
Right. Very
Easy.
important. Yes.
And have some fun. Look, I got my guy here. I got my little flamingo to remind me life is good. I got a narwhal. Do you know what the narwhal is?
Yeah.
Right. I'm surrounded by fun. You've got to create a space for yourself where you're going to be able to survive in this environment.
Right. Whatever it is for you, right? Whatever it is for you.
Exactly. Maybe for you, it's a nice clean space with nothing.
Yeah.
Maybe for you, it's a slinky or a couple toys, maybe silly putty, maybe pictures of your family or the vacation you're going to get to go on when this is over, whatever. Yeah.
So the important thing I took from what you said was don't be alone, because it's if even if you are in a MREA team, or if you don't are in a MREA team, working from in a remote location might be lonely and might be discouraging. So be part of a community of somehow, with the Zoom calls, with the with the conversations, and being in a team of some sort is very important, so that you don't feel alone, because nobody succeeds alone, right? We need
exactly.
each other.
And João, this is important. This part's important. It's okay to be vulnerable. We're not saying as bold coaches to come in and just la 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 la. We get it. This is tough. There are some tough things. So it's Jeannie Osnes is famous for saying, if it's raining, say it's raining. There's no reason. We're not looking to sugarcoat. Yet there is a difference, right? We learn in bold, and also in the one thing we learn. Let me see, page 185. How good is my memory? Let's see. We learn, right? Can you see?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
We learn that life happens.
Life happens. A vida acontece.
Sometimes big things happen, coronavirus. Sometimes little things happen. Your kid gets sick. No matter what, life happens. And then you have a choice. Are you going to go down the path of victim?
Right.
Or are you going to rise up the path to being accountable?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
When you are able to have a conversation with your people, and you can talk freely about what's good and bad, yet you know that your job is to go up the ladder, then it's okay. Whatever you talk about is okay, as long as you're talking about it in the right way. So yes, get into community with each other.
Right. Absolutely. Great. All right. So let's move on to the questions.
Wait, real quick for my team.
Yes.
So script practice, huddle, quick. As soon as we're off, everybody then gets on the phones. We check in midday with wins. Anybody who wants to, it's not required. And then at 5 o'clock, everybody brings their drink. I'm drinking Mandarin flavored water.
Okay.
Whatever you want. And we get back on the video and we give each other a cheers, salud, and have a good night.
All right. Absolutely. Great. Okay, so let me go through the questions. I have on the chat box over here a couple of questions.
Katarina.
Yeah. So first question from Joana Jardim is this one. Can you repeat the 5 goals, those 5 goals from the ones that Gary Keller said?
See, lead generate, double down. Okay. Number 2, bulletproof transactions.
Ok. Significa blindar a transação. Blindar a transação, ok? É uma das táticas do Shift. Go.
3, price reductions.
Baixa de preço.
Baixa, down, lower. Okay. 4, divide and conquer your database. Clean your database.
All right. Organizar, limpar a base de dados, ou seja, estruturá-la e depois atacar cada uma das fatias. Okay? And number 5?
Educate yourself. Read books, Go
All
on webinars. Everybody who's on today, yay, it's Friday night party in Portugal, education party, have fun, yet learn, learn.
Okay, great. Education. So those are the 5 goals that Gary Keller said we should be focusing on right now. So the second question from Gustavo Freitas is this.
Gustavo.
Molly, can you tell me how does a good rapport building question look like with a client?
Of course.
Or
so
somebody in the database? Did you understand the question?
So that kind of ranges. If you know someone very, very well, then you can use your judgment there and you've already got rapport. If you don't know someone very well, let's say you just met them at an open house or the grocery store or whatever, and you say, we may have talked about real estate in the past. Today, I'm just calling to see how you're doing.
Right. That's beautiful.
Easy. We may have talked about business or real estate in the past. Today, I'm just simply calling to see how you're doing.
Yeah.
That's it.
And asking questions, right? Showing interest on the person. Yeah,
that starts the conversation. And, maybe at first they're like, why are you calling me? This is strange. And say, this is the kind of person I am. I was thinking of you. So how are things? And then, once they say, why are you calling? If you go right through that, then you can say, how are things? Are you upbeat?
Yeah.
Do you have groceries? How's your coffee? Is your cat okay? Whatever.
Yeah. Gustavo, work on your being, right? Be a nice person, be a curious person, be an interested person of somebody else. Exactly. I hope that helps, Gustavo. Let's go to the next question from Ruth Alexandre from the Algarve. And Ruth is, hello, Molly. She is energetic.
Awesome.
Exactly. Ruth, she's saying, hello, Molly. Some words for the rookies, please. So if you are a rookie, what would you say to somebody that is starting a business, either starting virtually the business or just started before this thing happened?
Yeah. So first of all, for my rookies, congratulations. Really, you have more opportunity than anyone else because your environment right now is necessitating that you do what must be done. The rest of us have bad habits to overcome. We're all going crazy because we're used to doing the wrong thing. You have an opportunity to do the right thing from the beginning. Now, here's the thing for you though. You have to stay sharp up here because you gotta run a marathon. This is a long race. So give yourself pats on the back, celebrate the wins, and know that you have the best position to take over mind share. And then again, when it gets back, market share. Mind share today, people will know who you are. And then when they're ready to buy, sell, and invest, they'll call you. Mind share to market share. Rookies have a huge opportunity to build a solid, strong, unbreakable foundation.
Right. Amazing. Thank you.
Go for it.
Go for it. All right. No indecision, no nothing. Just go for it. Now it's
every day. Every day.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So Katarina has a question regarding the bulletproofing the transaction. Like, so how are you dealing with the deeds and signatures and now convert? I'm not sure I understand the question. They are converting the acquisition process to an online one, but how are they doing it? So I think my interpretation of the question is, how are you dealing with the fact that we cannot make physical connections between people, and how are deals still being done in this situation? That's my interpretation of the question. Katarina, I'm sorry if that's not really what you mean. I'll go with this one anyway.
Okay. So we're very fortunate here that everybody has been very solution-based. You may or may not know, in America, we close only at a title office or an attorney's office. Some places have closed and said no. However, for a closing to happen, it's got to be recorded at a courthouse. And I think around 80% of our courthouses are still open, not in person to person. They have transitioned to electronic signatures and electronic delivery. So they're allowing, in the past, this was not allowed. They're allowing it for now. I would imagine, I don't know what kind of power you have or influence. If you're able to connect with someone who can get it done for you, keep contacting people until you find the one person who says, I'll do it. And then go with that person and get it done. Get creative.
Right.
Solution based.
Absolutely.
And who knows, maybe you can change everything for the whole country, Katarina. You could save all these closings for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So Antje, do you remember Antje?
Of course, Angie. We had steak together in Dallas too.
Yes, our German Portuguese.
Our
So
German.
Antje is asking, how do you deal with your emotions when you hear from a client that is in trouble?
Yes, that's a very good question. This is emotional. I always go, Angie, you know me, I've been studying mindset now for 11 years, and bold has been the greatest thing for me, because I think keep your emotions between the lines, because people are looking to us. Our community needs us right now. They are looking for something from us. And what we can bring is calm, comfort, care. So my recommendation is, before having conversations, especially if you think you may have a tough conversation with someone, take a deep breath and decide how you're going to show up for them. One of my affirmations, I've been fairly consistent. I wrote it again this morning for those who saw the Keller Williams that I did the other day. I'm safe and healthy, and I have a list of 12 miles long of things to be grateful for. Today, I will show up as a strong leader who's focused on the infinite game of being awesome. And so for that's that strength piece. Angie, I feel you and I know your heart. So I know that is it's something for each of us to grow into. You don't have to get a callus. It's not about being calloused. It's about showing care through calm.
Yeah, I would just add up something for that, if that's helpful, Angie, which is when you see something happening in front of you, either is a situation or an emotion or an accident or something like that, it's really important for you to, for us all, not to make that judgment on the situation, like, is it good or bad, and like empathize with this, with what's going on, not sympathize. I mean, it's different, right? When you empathize, you put yourself in a position where you can actually do something and help the person, right? And if you sympathize, you just put yourself in a position where you go down with that person, right? So yeah, I would just say that avoid the judgment on the situation, make it neutral in terms of emotions, so that you can think on possibilities on how to help. Yeah, absolutely.
And protect yourself too. Make sure that, because there's a difference between someone sharing a tough situation and complaining. So protect your environment. Make sure that, if people are just complaining and dragging you down with negativity, you've got to make sure that if they are not accepting the goodness that you're bringing, just say, okay, well, boa sorte, adios.
Right. All right. So 2 more questions, Molly. So Pedro Maldonado, you had breakfast with him.
Pedro.
Yeah.
Olá, Pedro.
So Pedro is saying, so this virus is like a slow motion car crash. So it's probably, we haven't seen yet the consequences and the true consequences of it. It's going to go, it's going to happen more strongly in the future. So what would you say our mindset should be on a long run? Like, it's not just today, it's probably a long period of time, right?
So you've got to do triage right now. The sooner and harder you can work on your mindset, go to work. This is a workout right now. The more you can condition yourself on the front end, the easier it's going to be. Because again, not just for our businesses, for our mindset, this is a marathon. And my friends, we're on day 1. Right? So we've got to make certain. So it's all about the conditioning, letting yourself know that this is going to be some time, and that the only person who's going to get you through it is you.
Yeah.
So it's consistently making that decision every day. And I know that seems a little overwhelming. Let go of the long shot picture. We can't see if it's 2 weeks or 2 years or something in between. So one day at a time. Make great choices in your mindset, one day at a time. And then tomorrow when you wake up, do it again.
Right. So that love that it's a marathon. You're just on mile number 1. We're in the beginning, and this is where you have to grab your mindsets, because it's gonna be, make peace with that. Like it's gonna be a long one. All right.
Yeah.
Great. I hope that helps, Pedro. So let's go through the questions. Tiago is saying that this is a shifting time, but also an opportunity. What skills do you consider most important to acquire on this particular times? What are the most important skills we must sharpen right now?
Okay.
This
You'll
is
most important, of course, mindset first and foremost. I say it and I say it and I say it because I am 100% certain that is the key to everything. Sharpen your skills on your mindset first. Then think about the 5 jobs of a real estate agent, right? So we still lead generate. We still follow up. So your lead generation, it looks different, yet you're still doing it. Your lead follow-up, that's what you're doing right now. That's care and candor. That's checking in on your people. You are going on appointments. How can you do that now? Do you do it virtually? Do you do it over the phone? You still have appointments, negotiating contracts. Even if you are not in a place where you have contracts to negotiate, sharpen those skills, read your books on negotiation, educate yourself, and then script practice and role play. Those are the 5 things with a big circle of mindset around it, that if you are sharpening those up, you're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine. That you should take a deep breath and say, okay, I can do this. I can do it today. And then when you wake up tomorrow, say, I can do it today. And then when you wake up on Monday, say, I can do it today.
Right. Absolutely. Thank you. So we're just a little bit over our time.
Okay.
I will go. I'm okay too.
It's Portugal time. It's okay.
I'll go with the 2 more questions, and then we'll wrap up. Okay.
And
So
2 people can
the-
email you and email me any additional
absolutely.
questions. I'm
Yeah,
here. I know
absolutely.
that Facebook, I have some kind of limit. I didn't know I have a limit. I can't accept friends. However, you can email me. João can send out my email address. I'm here for you. I love Portugal. You're my favorite.
Thank you for that. So the question before the last is this one. I have a promissory contract, a buyer. It's a big deal, like in terms of money, and the buyer seems to be delaying the process because this circumstance right now is different. So the question is, how do you bulletproof when you feel that the buyer is having doubts?
Yep. So that's a great question. And the main thing is to stay calm, come from curiosity, and come from contribution. So the conversation with the buyer might be, I'm sensing some apprehension, and it's completely understandable. So this is a great script. It's called Feel, Felt, Found. However you want to translate that, feel, felt, found. So I'm sensing some apprehension here, and I completely understand how you feel. We have had people who have felt that way before, not necessarily in this situation, but there's always been apprehension in purchases, as I'm sure you can understand. Here's what we found. So the feel, felt, found. We affirm what they're feeling. We let them know they're not alone, and then we tell them the result. What we found is that if we can have an honest conversation now about what's going on, I can help you with the decision that's going to be best for you. Not necessarily what decision to make. I can just help you if I understand where you're coming from. If you're sensing some apprehension, what is it about? Is it because you're worried about whatever? You don't need to feed them any lines. Just stop and listen. Come from curiosity. Hear them. Because frankly, y'all, sometimes these are very valid concerns, and our advice to them should be, maybe they should slow down, right? We need to make certain, and I know it's very difficult because it's your family's well-being and it's your income that's impacted. However, when you put the client first, even if it doesn't pay off tomorrow, it will pay off one day.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. One last question. Andrea is asking your personal opinion about what are the 3 most important things we should be doing on a daily basis.
Hola, Andrea. Sí. Okay. So structure, number 1. have a structure. You must have a mindset structure and a business structure. How are you going to structure your morning to ensure your mindset is right to tackle the day, no matter what the day is? You should even do this on Saturdays if, you know, because everything's different. Your Saturday isn't taking the kids and going to the park anymore. So structure, first thing, structure your mindset and structure your day. We've got to have structure because in times of chaos, we must have an understanding of what we can control. And you can absolutely control your schedule. So that's number one. Number two is double down on your activities. Double down on the activities. We know what works. What works is being in relationship with more people. If you want to eventually earn money, more money, you then give better business, better service to more people. Right now, you're showing your ability to give service. That's exactly what you're doing. So most important is creating the structures. Second thing is within that structure, make certain that you're doubling down on the activities that will get you results and build mind share. And then finally, have some fun. For Pete's sake, I know there's a lot going on. However, this is fun. You're alive. You have 1.5 million things to be grateful for. You have so much going for you in your life. You've got to focus on those things because in your moments where you're not feeling so great, where you're feeling overwhelmed or panicked or lacking, if you can switch your mindset to focus on those things that you have gratitude for, it brings perspective. And with perspective comes awareness. And with awareness comes clarity. And we all know clarity is power.
Power. Absolutely. All right. Awesome. So, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being
You're
here.
so welcome.
I love you.
I love
We
you.
love you all. And if there is any way we can, you know, do something for you in the same way as you've been doing for us, let us know. We absolutely want to contribute to your well-being and your growth. All right.
You are the most wonderful group of people. And remember that that's an important thing too. Your environment, your leadership, the people around you are phenomenal. You are known all over our company as being just one of the most kind, loving, passionate, amazing regions. So this is your time to shine. This is why I love this shirt. Portugal, you have my heart. I love you all very much. Thank you for having me today.
All right. Thank you, Molly. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
adios.
Adios. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.